Welcome back to Face the Nation. We want to pick up where we left off with Oklahoma Republican James Lankford. Senator, I know the majority leader in the Senate has said that the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, will not pass a supplemental package without this bill, H.R. 2, that passed the House with no Democratic votes. You've said that's not realistic. But has the Speaker been clear to you what his red lines are? Can you get House Republicans to approve something if you can get Democrats to agree to it?
Yeah, we're going to find out on that. No, Speaker Johnson's not giving me the red line of what it has to be on this. Obviously, it's got to be able to pass the Senate, but it is the challenge of the House Republicans laid out a very good proposal, very thorough, covered a lot of issues, had no Democrats. Obviously, we're not going to get 20, 30 Democrats in the Senate or a Democrat White House to be able to sign that, but that doesn't mean we just sit and do nothing. We've got to be able to solve this crisis with 10,000 plus people a day on average just this last week crossing every day and 500,000 so far in the last 2 months. We can't just sit and say we're going to do nothing.
Well, Politico has reported you are proposing a new expulsion authority similar to Title 42 that would also automate a border shutdown if the number of migrants crossing hits a certain level. You'd mandate electronic monitoring for everyone, including children, and you want to restrict the administration's parole authority to release migrants from detention. Is that accurate?
No, it's actually not accurate. There are several things that I have proposed on that, some things that I have and some things that I have not. As you mentioned in the last segment, we're not going to have the opportunity to be able to, you and I, negotiate this out. But I would say we have to deal with the capacity issues. Just like any restaurant or a theater, they have a capacity issue. So do we on a day-to-day. We have thousands of agents that have been pulled in. And right now, there's been no consideration for the White House of how do we actually manage the capacity issues that are there. They seem to be focused on how many people can we just release into the country and tell them we'll do a hearing sometime later, when literally we don't know these people. Literally thousands of people have crossed the border just in the past few months that this administration identified as what they call special interest aliens, specifically saying they're a national security risk, but they were released into the country on their own recognizance. We've got to be able to stop that.
Right, but you'd have to negotiate changes to the law, and we are running out of time in 2023. You've also attached this, well, the House has argued that the border bill would need to be attached to Ukraine funding in order to pass. President Biden says that you, sir, are giving Vladimir Putin a Christmas present because this doesn't look like it's going to pass in 2023, and it's unclear when it could.
Yeah, I'm by far no fan of Vladimir Putin, and the president knows that full well. This is not a Christmas present to him. Actually, the president himself started by saying, if we're going to deal with national security, we've got to deal with Ukraine and we have to deal with the border. We've responded, that's correct. I don't meet very many Americans that think what's happening at the border is going well. And even the president's team themselves actually said if you hand them more money, it doesn't solve the problem. It just facilitates more people coming into the country. We have drugs coming into the country. We have national security risks coming into the country. And they've literally shut down legal migration. The San Ysidro port, the busiest port in America, was shut down this weekend as they moved all the staff off of legal migration to help facilitate illegal migration. That's got to stop.
No, we're seeing in our own polling that this is a top issue for Americans. So the president would be incentivized here. But what you're talking about is policy changes and this linkage to Ukraine. The president says if they don't get this funding now, that it will kneecap Ukraine on the battlefield. Can you get Ukraine aid passed separate from this?
No. The focus is, we hear from so many people, is why would we deal with other people's national security and ignore American national security? Why would we literally allow people across our southern border this administration labels national security risks by the thousands coming into the country, separate from just the migrants that are coming from employment? We have individuals they've literally labeled national security risks coming into the country. Why would we not work to be able to stop that? We can do two things at once for the United States of America. These negotiations haven't been going on a week. They've been going on months. So we've come a long ways. It's time to be able to finish this, make a decision, and do what we can do to be able to help the nation. We can't do everything on the border, but we can do the things to actually begin to control the border so that the United States is in control of our boundaries, not the cartels.
Well, we will watch and see what you're able to get done in these coming days. Senator, thank you for your time.